Imagine you are a citizen living in Germany after World War II, a country divided into two parts, East Germany and West Germany. Here is what you and your country were facing. Cities, houses, and factories across the nation had been devastated by bombs and gunfire. Everything was left in ruins and rubble. From major cities like Berlin and Hamburg to rural areas, the destruction in Germany was beyond imagination. The German economy was pushed to the brink of disaster. To make matters worse, the situation became even more desperate, as most men of working age between 18 and 35 who were expected to contribute to the country's reconstruction had either perished or been permanently injured during the war. As a result, even though the remaining women and children were willing, it was nearly impossible for them to revive West Germany's shattered economy on their own. But a miracle happened. Just 5 years later, in 1950, West Germany emerged as the second largest economy in the world. So, how did West Germany create this miracle? And it's me, Mason. Wherever Mason is, economic and social issues are analyzed with ease. Before diving into the main content, please note that the video below is compiled by me and my team from numerous sources. If you have anything to add, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Returning to the story of Germany's rise from the ashes, we see that this remarkable recovery was not just a miracle, but also an important lesson in how nations can overcome adversity. After World War II, West Germany's economy rose from the rubble, growing rapidly. 39 years later, in 1989, with the fall of the Berlin Wall, Germany was officially reunified and ranked as the third largest economy in the world, behind only Japan and the United States. What's astounding is that Germany managed to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges to become one of the most influential economic powers globally. A little spoiler. The answer to this miracle lies in a combination of external factors and key decisions made by the German government. First, one of the key factors that created the miracle for Germany's economy was the support from the United States. But why would Americans, all the way across the Atlantic, suddenly be so generous to help a defeated enemy like West Germany? Was there an ulterior motive behind their actions? Here's the answer. After the victory in World War II, the Soviet Union's Communist Party continuously supported communist parties in various countries, such as Northern Iran, Greece, China, and North Korea. Specifically in Western Europe, and notably in France, post-war poverty eradication policies fueled the rise of the Communist Party, which gained increasing public support. By 1945, the French Communist Party had become the largest political party in the country. At this point, the communist wave in Western Europe specifically, and the world in general, made the U.S. feel threatened. The U.S. believed that the Soviet Union's political influence was rapidly expanding worldwide, which also meant that America might lose its voice in many nations, along with the accompanying economic benefits. Faced with this situation, the U.S. had to implement strategic measures to curb the Soviet Union's growing influence. Thus, the U.S. decided to provide aid to any nation it deemed threatened by communism. This marked the origin of the Marshall Plan, an aid program the U.S. developed specifically for Western Europe. So a question we might ask at this point is, why did the U.S. choose to fund West Germany over other Western European nations? To find the answer, let's remember East Germany, the nation on the other side of the Berlin Wall. At this time, West Germany and East Germany were in intense competition, especially since East Germany represented communism. Therefore, it is easy to understand why the U.S. decided to support West Germany, a nation they assessed as being under threat from communism. Through the Marshall Plan, the U.S. provided a total of $13.3 billion in aid, a substantial amount of money at that time. Of this, West Germany received $1.3 billion, accounting for 10% of the plan's total value. However, what few might have expected is that the Marshall Plan not only helped West Germany recover quickly, but also paved the way for an economic revolution. And the success of this revolution wasn't simply due to U.S. financial support. The key reason lies in how the West German government utilized the U.S. aid. Alongside cash, the U.S. government provided a significant amount of goods to West Germany, ranging from food and building materials to machinery and supplies. This was crucial because, unlike other countries, the U.S.'s infrastructure had not been destroyed by the war, and its industry remained robust. American factories, which had previously been producing weapons for the war, quickly transitioned to manufacturing consumer goods and supplying products to European countries, including West Germany. The mechanism employed by the U.S. in the Marshall Plan was one of exchange. Countries receiving aid could list the goods they needed, and the U.S. would decide which products to provide. These goods were then sold to contractors in Western European nations at the highest bid, and the revenue generated from these sales did not return to the U.S. Instead, it was deposited into counterpart funds. These funds were reinvested into sectors critical to the economies of the recipient countries. In the final stage of this exchange mechanism, nations like France, Britain, and West Germany used these funds to undertake reconstruction and economic recovery projects. What's more, in West Germany, a critical factor made the Marshall Plan even more effective compared to other countries: the way the counterpart funds were utilized. While other nations primarily used these funds to reduce budget deficits, West Germany adopted a different strategy. It allocated only 40% of the funds to debt repayment and currency stabilization, while directing the remaining 60% toward industrial investment. This decision proved pivotal in facilitating West Germany's rapid economic recovery. Companies began to take loans from the counterpart funds and use them to invest in production. As a result, West Germany's industries began to grow robustly, and its economy achieved remarkable levels of growth. But dear viewers, that's not the whole story. There's still another crucial factor beyond the Marshall Plan. The second key element that enabled Germany's complete transformation was the policies of the West German government. One of the pivotal decisions was the currency reform carried out in 1948 by Ludwig Erhard, the director of economics in the Anglo-American occupied zones of West Germany. After the reform, the new Deutsche Mark was introduced, and citizens could exchange old marks for new ones at a conversion rate of 10 old marks to 1 new mark. While this currency exchange caused individuals with significant savings to lose much of their wealth, it was a vital measure for the economy as a whole, helping to reduce the surplus of devalued currency and restore the value of the national currency. Following the currency reform, the German government implemented policies to restore the market economy, including ending centralized economic controls and introducing price regulations that allowed goods prices to be determined by market supply and demand. These decisions enabled West Germany's economy to revive rapidly. Companies increased production, workers returned to their jobs, and the economy began showing clear signs of recovery. Lastly, after these significant transformations, West Germany encountered another stroke of luck: the outbreak of the Korean War in the 1950s. Although West Germany was prohibited from producing weapons, the war led to a surge in demand for military supplies and essential goods. The West German government quickly seized this opportunity and began exporting goods to the nations involved in the conflict, sparking a robust export wave. This provided a substantial source of income for West Germany, and within just a few years, the nation's GDP soared. And that's the story of Germany's economic miracle. Through decisive policies and skillful exploitation of opportunities, West Germany miraculously recovered from the devastation of war and emerged as one of the strongest economies in the world. In the years that followed, West Germany maintained its growth momentum and became a model for post-war economic recovery. This demonstrates that Germany's economic miracle wasn't solely a result of international support, but more importantly, stemmed from the innovation and decisiveness of the German government. This recovery was not only economically significant, but also a critical factor in driving Germany's unification, as the nation's strong economy exerted immense pressure, eventually leading to the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to support Mason. See you in the next video.